to Access to Business Opportunities. I'm Thomas Stevens, your host. Today with us we have Robert Sessley, owner, Sessley Construction Services.
Hello.
And we have Halima Shafiq, owner, Green Office Furniture Solutions.
Hello.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's going to be a great show, MBE Roundtable. We want to talk about your companies, why you went into business, and what you plan to do for the future. So let's start off with Robert. Give us a little background about your company and how you got into this.
Our company started 35 years ago with my father. It started off as a mom and pop operation with a passion my father developed in Columbus Public Schools at Eastmoor in Woodshop. He started that company. We come from a long line of entrepreneurs. Both my grandfathers are entrepreneurs. My father went straight into business after high school. He developed a base in construction, and then at some point in graduate school, I developed a passion to come back to work with my father.
Okay.
So that's us.
Wonderful. Halima.
Well, I have a strong background in architectural drafting and a degree in interior design. I've worked quite a few years in the commercial design industry. So it led me to start my own business, which is Green Office Furniture Solutions, and it's focused with design and project management and product solutions.
Why Green Office Solutions?
Well,
I mean, what's this thing about green?
It's definitely sustainability. So a lot of the products that we choose to offer will have certain criteria that it meets to meet LEED certification, to also improve your overall environment, whether it's emissions and other harmful things that products have had in the past.
And is there a good market for that?
Absolutely. I see more and more that people are becoming more conscious of the environment that we spend a great deal of our time in, whether we're working there or learning there, or even if it's a medical facility, there's always the need to be concerned about any other products or things that can be introduced that might be harmful.
Okay, I want to learn more about the green because it's critical and
Yes.
it's important to the city. Construction. I know we see a lot of buildings going up. Hopefully you're doing good business, but tell us a little more about construction. Why is that important? What are you doing in that space?
Well, construction, why is it important? For us, the way we look at construction and pretty much our entire business is we look at relationships. So a customer has a need for something built, and we approach that relationship with a win-win mentality of you have a need, we can provide a value to meet that need. So that's pretty much the role we play in that, the value that we bring in construction.
What is your expertise in the area of construction? Because it's so vast.
Right. Well, I think that's a good part about our company is its diversity. We've worked the full spectrum in its growth from a mom and pop into a more established business, is that we cover the spectrum from maintenance and repair to building large projects from the ground up. So we stay diverse. We have a target market, but we pretty much are diverse, and if it fits the model and the schedule at the time, we do approach it and take it.
Okay.
Go for it, at least.
Got to go for it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, again, in the green space, we'll say, who are you doing business with, and where do you see opportunities for your company with regards to growth?
Well, we're doing business with everyone from a small business startup to corporate entities and government. And I see opportunities for growth because, like I said, a lot of people are starting to be more conscious of their environment and what type of products they're putting in that environment, and over time, how it's going to break down. What's going to happen to this chair after we're no longer using it? Can it be recycled? Can we help the environment while we're building our office or building our space for people to work in? So I do see more of a focus, also more of an opportunity to educate people. A lot of people are hearing about green, they're learning about green, and are looking for ways to incorporate that, and so we're able to start to help them do that.
Okay. We have a great green steward with the city. Like you know, it's important to the mayor.
Absolutely.
Speaking of that, do you see any type of green in the area of construction? I'm just trying to see if I can figure out a partnership here.
As far as green goes, we've just started to look at green. We recognize the fact that at some point it'll be a major part of construction and how construction's done. We're still for us and what we've seen at our level of construction, it's still in a transition where you want to do the consciously right thing, but it's hard to sell it to a customer who doesn't have a requirement that makes them green.
Okay.
So there are times where we need it and it works perfectly, and there's times where you just want to sell it, but it doesn't hit their price point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's back up a little bit. Was it a challenge to again, you're from a generational business.
Yes, sir.
But was it a challenge to get into business and get up to speed and financing and all that stuff, the hurdles? Just because we need to help some entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah.
So give them some advice on what you saw and kind of the path you took.
Well, for our business in particular, we started with, and that was in my evaluation of going back to work for my father, looking at friends starting businesses, struggling in business, and friends who work for businesses and not really all that comfortable. And I looked at his business and said he has a really well-established customer base within the community. So we had the market coming in. Financing is still what it is, and paying for work. And the model that he worked under was deposit, we start working. And it took some time to transition that into a model of being able to finance the work for the customer. But it took time, and the advice would be set up an accounting system, be extremely diligent, and if you're an entrepreneur, you're extremely creative. and
Kind of have to be.
yeah, you do. You do.
What I'm hearing you say too, that it's not an overnight success. It's
It is
day
not.
in and day out, just pushing through.
It
till
took
you
me
get-
years to accept that. You like growth. You're a driven person, but that drive is a process of years.
Okay, Halima, what's your experience? Again, you started that business, and I just knew you probably had $4 million in the bank, so you was all
absolutely,
set.
sure.
need
No,
to know
no,
her.
by any means. Working a job at the time and actually was laid off shortly thereafter. So it was a matter of hit the ground running and do or die. And just, again, resources. I actually had started doing research prior to starting the business and tapping into some of the resources out there, Small Business Administration, PTAC. There's a lot of different entities that are out there just to help people who are starting a business, who need direction. Had never ran a business on my own at all. Always worked for someone else. So getting that information was crucial and critical. And then just, money doesn't fall out of the sky, getting creative, finding those opportunities to finance or find a way to, or in my case, you have to purchase the product to resell it, and you need to find those resources when you can. And it takes time. It takes time to build up credit with your suppliers, and it takes time to build up and establish your business, and for people to trust in that and say, okay, we'll lend you, we'll extend the credit and allow you to be able to do this.
And one thing I've noticed about you over the last couple of years, you're always at our events. You're out there trying to figure out where that opportunity is, trying to network. So you're not sitting at home expecting the window, the business to come flying through the window.
No, you have to go out and be active, and whether it's networking events, anything that's going to get you the opportunity to meet with people who are either going to allow you to partner with other businesses, who are going to help you find the products you need, who are going to help you find access to capital, any type of opportunity. Even after starting the business, people say, why are you still going to those things? I learn something new every time. And at different phases in the business, there's always something that I may have learned about the first or second year that wasn't really applicable, where now I need that information because going forward it's going to help me in terms of growth and viability.
Excellent point. Robert, what about linking up maybe with prime contractors, trying to source business? Do you work with prime contractors? Are you the prime contractor looking for subs? How does that work?
Well, in the past, when my father, we've had some really great experiences in our growth where we've worked with contractors like McDaniel's Construction or worked for Smoot, worked for Mr. McDaniel's when he was the company at the time. But for us, what we've really focused on is relationships and partnering with what's most mutually beneficial or win-win for both of us. For primes, we haven't found that perfect win-win yet for both parties. We don't want to be top-heavy on either side of the table. We have found really great relationships and partnerships at our level of peers. In the construction process, there are things we do really well, and there's another group of guys out there, guys or women, who do well. We find ways to put us together to do work together, and everyone get paid for what they do in the process. That's been our biggest partnering kind of model that's helped us grow.
Okay.
Not necessarily primes at this point.
All right. But a successful approach, that's the key.
Yes.
What about you, Alima?
Actually, the first few years of business, I served as, our company served as a prime on all of our projects. The last few years, I've basically worked with at least 3 different companies where we're sub to the prime on projects, mostly construction, providing furniture and fixtures for facilities that are being built under design-build projects.
Talk a little bit more about design build, because that's a
Sure.
big thing going on right now.
What we're finding in design build, I mean, typically a person would build a building and then, they'd go outside of that looking for furniture and those items. Under a lot of the design build projects, we're finding that our piece is being incorporated under the construction project. So it's a piece of that. And so, even though we're still coming in at the tail end of the project to provide that, it's all part of one project. So we're involved in everything from the construction meetings, we're meeting with the customers, we're helping them finalize the selections and making sure that we're working with the architects. So we're part of that whole project.
So I don't think I prepared this question, you know how it goes. Why would I want to come and see you as a business? Why would I want to come?
Well, you're going to find under our umbrella, we're going to provide services that you'll need, whether it is actually making selections. Again, we're going to work with your architects and your other professionals and have experience in doing that. We're going to bring in those products. We're going to make sure they're installed properly. We're going to make sure anything else that might be needed or was overlooked is also brought into that picture. So basically, you're going to get a one-stop shop in terms of that piece of the project.
Okay, great answer.
Yeah.
Robert,
Yes, sir.
as far as construction is concerned, again, why should I come and see you since there's so many contractors out there? What makes you unique?
Well, essentially, for us, it's our mind frame of relationship approach. Relationship and added value. So you have a need, it's in construction, and we can meet that need. We work with very, very little, if any, marketing whatsoever. We work off word of mouth and successfully completed projects. That is our marketing. So when you come to us, typically the phone rings because, one, you already know we can do the work, and you have confidence that we'll do it effectively and we'll do it on time and on budget for what we say. So we kind of operate in a model of ethics and knowing our trades and knowing what we do well. And so that's why the phone rings. That's been our growth model.
Excellent work too. Obviously, I've seen some of it.
Yes,
Others
sir.
you showed me, so great job.
Thank you.
Let's look at maybe community.
Sure.
Why should we be involved in the community? Why is that important to you?
Community involvement is extremely important. As you're building the community, it actually helps to build your business. You're building in terms of giving back, whether it's helping to create job opportunities for people, whether it's educating people. I think that we always have to be tuned into our community to help the community grow, as well as, and then it helps every business grow.
Any comments on community?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. That we are extremely community focused with our business. We look at what we do as, there's not a neighborhood in the city of Columbus or the Columbus metropolitan area I can drive within and I don't see a project that I've worked on personally as the owner of the company or my father's worked on. So I look at that and I say, there was a need, we met that need in the community. En route to doing that, we employed people. We bought and sold products and services, goods. And so in doing business and doing business ethically, you're employing people. And you're providing a service that someone needs. They want it, they need or they want it, and you can meet that need. So,
excellent. I had a question that I wanted to ask that I sent to you previously. We talk about target markets. Again, you can't be all things to all people. And since this is an MBE roundtable, I want to know what your target market is, who you're going after. So hopefully we can drive some business there.
Sure.
Go ahead, Robert.
On the residential end, well, we do a fair amount of high-end residential, very, very design, build, focused projects where we come in at the very beginning, you tell us your dream, and we make that happen. That you would find on our website, mostly focused on the visual, because that's what it is for that. Our other target market in the commercial end is more so build-outs, so businesses starting up, empty boxes and we turn them into something, or we renovate a room into something new or a new use for, say, like a government entity or whatever. So our target market has been light commercial, which is renovations, build-outs and restorations, and then on the residential end, it's been higher-end residential.
So I heard of Sessley Construction, and I'm like, okay, who is this guy? And I see him. Give you a call on the phone, walk me through the process. What's the next thing I need to do?
Well, the first thing I find out is what is your desire? What do you need? What is the construction project? Once we find that out, we start the process of, I like to get to the essence of what the nuts and bolts of the project. Who's paying for it, whether it be you or the bank? What's your time frame? Is it realistic? And a lot of the process for us in the sale is really just education and communication. I need to tell you about how the construction process works typically in a residential mind frame. In a commercial, they lay it out for you. But yeah, it's just been a process of communicating and getting to the point of what are we doing.
Okay, Halima, phone's ringing. I'm calling. Heard your name out there. What's the process?
The first thing I'll want to know is some details about your project. What type of project is it? We focus primarily on commercial. So in a lot of cases, if someone has a residential project, we're going to refer them to someone else. But we have done some residential for, let's say, a professor. If we completed their office, they want a home office. We've been able to duplicate something on that scale. But we're doing we would find out as much as we can about the project, what your budget is, what type of goals you have to meet. If you do have a lead goal or lead credit certification that you have to meet, we're looking at those products that are going to help you meet that goal. So we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of functionality. What is the space being used for? And then start to talk about the products that will best meet those functions that we would have available. Then the services. Do you need us to do everything from the space planning to the install? And then we'll complete those things as needed.
Good, excellent. Now, obviously, Columbus is rich in business opportunities, one of the best places to do business. I mean, I could give you statistics all day long.
Yes.
How have you helped play a role in growing Columbus?
Okay. Well, at the ground level, we're employing people. I mean, that's the base level of it. Then you can look at some of the projects around Columbus we've worked on, from Ameriflora to the building of, say, like a New Covenant Believers Church as the construction management team, or working for most of the church entities within the city. So we look at the different projects we've worked on and the size of the city, and there's not a place you can go where you can't see something we worked on or done. So.
Okay, good. Have you helped build this great city we call Columbus?
Absolutely. Again, it's going to be in the form of employment. We're definitely partnering with other businesses, small businesses, larger businesses. Completed the Turner construction courses last year. And so, again, allowing us the opportunity to work with other businesses out there, whether it's as a sub, whether we're hiring someone as a sub to work with us. Definitely bringing employment opportunities to the city.
That's what we like to hear.
Yes.
Supports the tax base and everything, so we appreciate
It's a great
that.
thing.
Let's talk a little bit about joint ventures and partnerships again. I mean, do you see that as valuable? Do you see that as part of your path to the future? Let's go back over here to Halima.
I feel it's extremely valuable. We're partnering with people in terms of whether it's products, services, employing more people. I think it's just a matter of working together and finding out what you lend to the table that the other person needs. And we all have very many resources and different resources within our companies. We have found it a valuable thing to do in terms of partnering with others.
Okay.
I agree 100%. It is the way to growth. Essentially, a relationship-based approach to partnering at all levels. We partner with the customer, we partner with subcontractors, we partner up with primes, we partner with people at our same peer base. So yeah, we approach every project with that, where is the partnership, where is the win-win, and meeting the need.
Now, I've seen when you form partnerships, sometimes there can be a challenge in the partnership. So how do you kind of keep that, for lack of a better term, clean? So you do your part, they do theirs, and everyone gets paid, and the project is completed and on time?
I always keep in the back of my mind the concepts that my father taught me working within. So we're ethical. We are extremely transparent. We never avoid the conversation about what's the topic, what really needs to be said. So with that said, it makes it easier to develop trust that is needed for a partnership. The track record always helps, having the experience of doing this and it working out well for everybody. And I always like to lay on the table, here is the process from point A to point B. What do you want to do in there? Because something in there gets paid along the way, and a product gets delivered. And so whatever you do, everybody gets fairly compensated for. So we try to be extremely transparent in the process, and it's worked well for us.
What about your company?
I would agree that on those things, but I think communication, transparency is key too. We've also entered teaming agreements. We do have joint venture opportunities as well. So, and again, those are contractual. So everything's kind of written down what we're going to do, what their responsibilities would be, et cetera. And so that's helped in those cases where it's needed to make sure that all parties understand their responsibilities and that those responsibilities are completed according to that agreement.
Great point.
So you see that as a key part of your business model, though, going forward?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
We grow together.
Yes.
I like that. We grow together.
We grow together.
That's how it works.
Again, as we look at giving new entrepreneurs some more advice, because I think that's key.
Sure.
More and more, I'd say high school and even college kids, they're coming out and they're saying, we're going to start a business because the job market is still tight. So I'm coming straight out of college. What would you tell that entrepreneur?
Well, tell them the things I had to break out of my own head. You do not know it all.
Yeah.
Seek mentors, seek guidance. Find somebody who's done this. You're not reinventing the wheel. You may be adding something onto it, but find someone who's done it, get mentorship, get up every day early and work hard and work late and stay creative. In an entrepreneurial mind frame, it takes a lot of creativity and a lot of drive, and then keep your ethics along the way. Because creative can turn into a less, a less positive approach. So you stay creative, but you stay focused, and you set goals and you go for them. And yeah.
Great model.
Yep.
I would definitely say that you definitely want a mentor, but there's times where you'll need multiple mentors. You might need a mentor from different aspects of what you're trying to accomplish, and meet with them. Talk to them regularly. It doesn't have to be every day, but every so often, just try to come back to the table and make sure that you're going in the direction you want to go in. And then I'd also say remain focused. He's right, you don't know everything. Learn as much as you can, learn more, stay open to that, and definitely, yes, stay creative and positive.
Okay, wonderful. Let's talk about doing business with the city. Well, government in general to start with. Aren't you doing some business with the federal government and perhaps the state and working on doing something with the city? Give us a little.
Sure. The majority of what I do is government work. So whether it's federal level, and that be, Army, Air Force, those type of projects. We do a lot with the Department of Veteran Affairs. It's important to me as a veteran to do what I can to help those facilities that our veterans are being treated in. So, I can put a personal touch in some of the work that I do. We're doing things on the state level. And then we're also working on opportunities in the city level as well.
Okay, and you are certified with the city, so we appreciate
Yes.
that. You're working hard.
Yes, sir.
Anything to add to what you just said?
At the city level, we are at any of the government levels. We've just started to tap into that market. We have an existing customer base, and it is providing for us. But that's how our conversation actually started, and me saying, well, let's reach into a new market.
Sure.
So yeah, we are eager to get into that market, the city base.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's a market to grow, so your
ready.
company can grow. I noticed you had some company come with you today, which brought a question in my mind.
Yeah.
How do you transition generationally? What's the word?
Generational.
Generationally.
Yep.
From one generation to the next. How do you do that?
For me, and it's probably the same for my daughter, who's here today somewhere out there, is I was there watching the business happen.
Okay.
And it creates it puts something in you, a bug for working for yourself, an entrepreneurial spirit, and it's in all of us, at this point, So
It's just
you expose them to that entrepreneurship.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel business will be passed down and all that?
I do feel that. I see in my child a definite entrepreneurial spirit that has transgressed his way, whether he knows it or not.
Yeah.
But I do see it, and it's funny because you don't think about these things when you're doing them, but it's definitely an influence, and it's something that there's times there you probably think you can get away from it, but as you grow with that spirit inside of you.
Okay, good. Now, as far as your company, looking at your vision 5 years down the road, what do you see?
Well, I see a continual growth. I see the opportunity to do things on a scale a little bit grander than we've done in the past. I see definitely more employment opportunities, a continued focus and sustainability, and helping all of our environments that we're in, because if you're working in an environment, if you're sick in an environment, if you're learning in an environment, it needs to be an environment that is healthy. And so just keeping that in mind, and knowing that when someone walks into a public space, it's public, but it needs to be for all people. And so to have a hand in that means a lot.
Okay. What's your vision 5 years down the road?
5 years down the road. Wow, it's a great one. Well, I see us still on the path that we're on. We look at our existing customer base and we want to maintain it. We grow from there, so our base of customers continues to grow. We put a really strong emphasis on, in the transition from mom and pop into what it is today, on systems, and because construction is a very system-based process. So I see us continuing to develop those systems, put them in place, try them, to perfect them, add more. And that's been the growth of our company, and doubling our growth, say, every year for the last 4. It's just take what we have. And it has been a powerful experience, you know. I didn't know how well the people that already work for us were until I said, you know, I'm not looking to go outside of us anymore for a while, and said, let's just focus on what we have. And we've focused on, and I think we'll continue to focus on for the next 5 years, keeping those people with us that are with us, putting in the pieces that help in that process, and growing and trying to grow every year, and employing and putting beautiful things on the ground. You love, as a construction person, it's probably the same even in your industry.
Absolutely.
You like to go somewhere and look at something you did, you know, and you like to take your kids and family, and it's, you know, it's a bragging thing or whatever, you know. Absolutely. But I see us doing more of that, and I look forward to it.
Okay. Now, I know we're running almost out of time here. Do you have any final great tips for the viewers out there about your company? You want to leave them any final information?
Yeah. Tips. Well, if you have a building, if you have, whether it be residential, commercial, or business, we can provide a value there, whether it be from maintenance and repair to building something new or changing an office or whatever it may be. If you have a commercial or residential property, there is a construction need there at some point, and please consider us. And we like to develop a relationship there.
And how would someone be able to get a hold of you?
Well, you could contact us on my phone number, which is 614-808-5831, or you can look on our website, www.sessleyconstruction.com. So there's various ways. Or you could email me. It's bob@sessleyconstruction.
Okay.
So,
People can find you.
you can find me. Please do.
Again, Halima, what's your company name, and how can someone get a hold of you, and that final tip?
Green Office Furniture Solutions. You can reach us at 614-452-7222. We also have a website, www.gofsllc.com. And one of the final tips, there's exciting things actually coming in furniture as technology is being integrated. We can help you with any of your projects, be it beginning to end, growth or downsize. We can help with those.
Okay. Wonderful. I think we're about out of time, but let me see, one other question. The finances. Again, that's always a challenge for a lot of businesses. What do you have to do to overcome some of those hurdles? Because I got a call yesterday on that.
Yeah.
Mr. Stevens, who do I call? Where do I go? Because it's still kind of tough. Get that in there real quick.
Real quick, you have to start with what is the situation for my company, and because you're small, if you are small, it's personally and your company. So you got to put it out there, say what it is. Then you have to create a disciplined plan to get that on track for whatever it may be, credit, creating assets, debt income ratio, whatever the issues may be. And then you have to continue to develop relationships. I always get to know and talk to my bank manager consistently, you know, because there are times when we really need to just talk about what this is so we can do this work. So
excellent.
Develop relationships, be disciplined.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Make sure that you take advantage of programs where they help you do your business plan, help you find access to capital. ECDI has a great program for startups.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for being here. And if you're looking for opportunities with the City of Columbus, you can go to our website at columbus.gov, click on the Equal Business link. There you'll find links to our partners as well as links to vendor services where there's over 100 opportunities. Again, we thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Access to Business Opportunities.